In the headlines, appeal court affirms alias election as Benue governor. Bandits kill policeman, kidnap district head's wife, 14 others in Zamfara. Protesting judiciary workers shot High Court gate in Osun. On the foreign scene, Philippine quake death toll rises to 9. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Umar. Thanks for joining. We now begin the news with judiciary matters, as the Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed appeal by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in the last governorship election in Benue State, Titus Uba. The appeal had challenged the September 23rd judgment of the governorship election petition tribunal, which dismissed their petition against the return of Isint Alia of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the governorship election held on March 18th. A three-member panel of the court in a unanimous judgment resolved the three issues distilled for determination against the appellants and held that the appeal was without merit. The court affirmed the judgment of the tribunal on the grounds that not only were issues raised in the petition pre-election matters, but the PDP and its candidate failed to prove their claim of forgery raised against the APC's deputy governorship candidate in the election. And away from judiciary matters, a mobile policeman attached to the Maru Police Division was killed by terrorists who attacked Ruandurawa, a community in Maru local government area of Zamfara State on Sunday. Residents said 13 people comprising 6 women, 5 men and 2 children were abducted by the terrorists during the attack that lasted more than 2 hours. A community leader who craved anonymity said the terrorists came to abduct residents of the community so they could collect ransom before releasing them. Another resident, Faisal Ibrahim, said his sister Zainab, who is married to the district head of the area, was one of those abducted. The Zamfara State Police was yet to confirm the incident at the time of filing this report. Now, as part of its continued efforts towards addressing problems of insecurity bedeviling Katsina State, the state government launched its Community Watch Corps with the sole aim of augmenting the efforts of the conventional security agencies operating in the state fighting banditry and other forms of criminalities. Tijani Ibrahim reports that close to 1,500 young men and women drawn from across the state were recruited to work particularly in the frontline local government areas in order to take part in security operations, having known their terrain better than the security agents in most cases. Report.
Governor Rabda inaugurated a Security Intervention Trust Fund Committee under the Secretary to the Government of the State, Alhaji Abdullahi Agarba Faskari, with a 3-week mandate to submit its report on how to mobilize and suggest how to expend funds on security, among other terms of reference. The governor said security is a top priority of his administration, as 22 out of the 34 local government areas in the state are severely affected by the problems of insecurity. Hence, the training and equipping of the Community Watch Corps serves as an emblem of his commitment to security, peace, and community-centered advancement.
You have been saddled with the responsibility of facing a deadly enemy who has no respect for life and peaceful existence. Those bandits have brought pain upon our mothers, daughters, sons, and fathers. It is our religious obligation to protect them.
Chairman of the Katsina Community Watch Corps, Major General Junaid Sani Bindawa, retired, expressed confidence that the insecurity bedeviling the state and the Northwest region could be mitigated through that kind of arrangement as done in other climes. He said the young men and women were trained in weapons handling, counter-terrorism, first aid, civil-military relations, and other security-related activities in order for them to assist the security agents in mitigating the security challenges in their various local government areas. In an earlier interview with the Katsina State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Dr. Nasir Muazu, the Commissioner said the Corps had the requisite legal backing as a bill seeking to establish it was transmitted by the State Governor to the State Assembly, which debated and unanimously passed it into law, which was subsequently assented to by the Governor. Dr. Muazu said the Corps members have gone through 2 months of intensive and rigorous training by experts in order to bring them up to the task ahead of them. Talking about the kind of weapons the new security outfit will be handling, Dr. Muazu said it is going to be operating within the purview of the law, leveraging only on what the law has provided for in addressing issues of insecurity, saying we will not do anything prohibited by the law. In terms of the remuneration and other welfare packages, the Commissioner said the government has provided for allowances all across the structure.
Because of the importance and significance of the Corps, taking into cognizance of the insecurity in the state, and we are left with no option than to have this kind of establishment. So they fast track the process, and we're able to get the legal backing to establish the Community Watch Corps.
From inception to date, the Corps had recorded some successes, losses, as well as got involved in some controversial operations. In terms of success, for instance, the Corps was said to have killed a number of bandits, including a kingpin who was identified as Sheikh Usman in Damusa local government, as well as about 13 other bandits among those who attacked Zaka community in Safana local government area recently. However, the attack in Zaka, one of the operatives of the Corps was said to have paid the supreme price alongside one other police officer. Equally, the Corps was enmeshed in controversy when a family of one Alhaji Hamza Zaka accused some operatives of the Corps of killing him extrajudicially over alleged involvement in sharing information with the bandits. Johnny Ibrahim, Trust TV, Katsina.
Experts at the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, Ibadan, have charged all tiers of government to adopt an intensive approach towards tackling the menace of corruption. The call is coming in the wake of a research project that seeks to eliminate undesirable attributes while engendering national patriotism. Report.
Despite establishing multiple agencies to fight graft, corruption remains endemic, affecting governance and businesses. Experts say controlling corruption, however, requires systemic approach based on both rules and values, with a comprehensive strategy that addresses both the public and the private sector.
The corruption that we are witnessing is sitting more at the system level, that is in terms of the institution.
It is for this reason that the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, in conjunction with the MacArthur Foundation, has embarked on this research project, which seems to find ways to eradicate corruption in all spheres of our national life.
The problem is that we are all aware of the fact that corruption is very endemic in Nigeria. Now, what this study is trying to project is that there are several ways by which you can deal with corruption.
This seminar, with the theme Corrupt Behavior in Nigeria's Public Sector, simplifying a complex phenomenon, provides possible pathways through which corrupt behavior can be tracked and controlled in Nigeria.
But ours is just to conduct the research and to submit our findings to appropriate quarters. So we have policy implementers that are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that things are done properly and that our research are uptake into actionable actions. Other partners in the quest to rid the country of graft gave their verdict on the best modalities to adopt in this regard.
There is a kind of grand and petty corruption. But what we have been doing is that we have been dealing with petty corruption, but we are not ready to deal with that particular grand corruption. So there is still motivation for people to embark on grand corruption.
Research only confirmed what we have always known in ICPC, and it's been what we have been working on to tackle corruption from every angle, not just the enforcement part of it, not just by arresting people, but also by increasing the values, the positive values that we have in this country.
The general consensus here is that behavioral change should be encouraged to reduce corruption.
Now, members of the Judiciary Staff Union in Osun State on Monday locked the entrance to the Osun State High Court in Osogbo in protest against the Chief Judge Adepele Ojo and the management of the activities of the judiciary in the state. The protesting workers, led by Benga Eludure, prevented movement into the premises. The protesting workers carried placards with inscriptions accusing the Chief Judge of refusal to pay wardrobe allowances of workers in the last 3 years.
First instance, the Supreme Court position made some position over the matter that maybe it should go through the National Judicial Council. What the Osun State government are saying is that the House of Assembly has power to, under the Constitution as well. And then it becomes an issue for the Supreme Court. But what I will say is that all things that should be done well should be done well. The purpose of coming out today is to picketing the office of the Honorable CAJ as regards some unresolved issues between the union and the Honorable CAJ. We have been on this issue for quite some time. Like the first one that I want to mention is about the unlawful suspension of some of our members. Some of our members have been suspended for more than 3 years. They have not been paid.
As far as the issue of suspension or removal of the Chief Judge of the state is concerned, the law is crystal clear on it. And when we say law is crystal clear on it, we're talking about the clear provision of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria and the existing Supreme Court case, which was decided in the case of Elelu, a similar removal of the Chief Judge of Kwara State. So the provision of the Constitution is clear.
Earlier, we had join us via Zoom from Osun Daily Trust reporter Hamid Oyebade, and he gave us an update.
Their major position is that the state Chief Judge, Justice Adepele Ojo, who has recently been removed by the State House of Assembly, which is generated issues. They claim that the woman has done a lot of things that was not in favor of the staff. Particularly, they spoke about not, reabsorbing some of the staff that were sometimes sacked. And despite that, those staff went to court, and the court eventually exonerated them and asked them to be, the judiciary to reabsorb them back into their offices. So they are saying that the refusal of the CJ to allow those people to resume back to their work is one of the things they are angry about. And they also said that there are a lot of allowances that they are supposed to be earning, that is the staff that the refused to give them. They claim that all these allowances were in the budget of the Judicial Service Commission or the High Court, and that the money, came through from the state government but didn't reach the staff. That they claim that the CJ refused to give them all these benefits. They also claim that for a very long time, the staff were not, allowed to go on training, which is their regular routine activities in the past. That the CJ pocketed, allegedly, that the CJ pocketed the money that was meant for their training. So they came up with a lot of allegations against the CJ, claiming that the CJ was not paid. So that was the grievance of the JUSUN members, the Judiciary Staff Union in Osun State, and I spoke with their chairman, Oluwagbemiga Olakunle, who clearly stated all the criteria against the CG. The workers barricaded the entrance. They prevented anybody from going. So these people, the registrars, are not able to go into the office. So the whole place was just deserted, except for the staff at the gate and the security operatives, the policemen, who were staying there to ensure.
Now, in another development, former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Monday said Western liberal democracy is unsuitable for Africa and seems not to be working for Nigeria and other African countries. According to the former president, Western democracy as it has been practiced in Nigeria and other African countries should be re-examined or moderated. He stated that this is because it has not delivered on good governance and progressive development for the continent. Obasanjo spoke at the high-level consultation on rethinking Western liberal democracy in Africa held at the Green Resort Legacy Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, Abeokuta. Obasanjo said it was time to be brutal with the truth and face the reality that Western democracy is not delivering on expectations and should therefore be tinkered with in such a way that it will be able to take care of African peculiarities. In the meantime, the Niger State House of Assembly is set to enact a law that will provide 6 months maternity leave for nursing mothers in the state. The Deputy Speaker, Afiniki Dauda, stated this at an event in Minna, the state capital, on Monday. She said the bill was important to allow women to get the required rest after childbirth and to enhance the health of the nursing mother and her child. The All Women event organized by the wife of the governor of Niger State, Fatima Bago, was aimed at enhancing women's participation in governance and equipping them with the required business and life skills for them to fit into their new roles as political office holders and wives of elected and appointed political officials. The 6 months maternity leave is expected to enable working-class nursing mothers to fully regain their energy and bond sufficiently with their children during the period. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we take a look at Owerri Trade Fair 3.0. Details of that and more after the break. Please stay with us.
It wasn't easy for you, even though you come from this distinguished political family. You made many attempts. Were you discouraged by the initial setbacks?
Coming from such a family, I've learned a lot. I grew under the late president, so I've seen so many of, such things. You could go in and then you may not win. So I had all that at the back of my mind.
How were you taking it as that knife edge kind of counting was going on, because it could have gone either way?
When you are aware that the Naira was changed and very little time was given, so money was out of circulation.
Does it mean you didn't have money to mobilize?
No, it's not the money. What I mean was people who are suffering to change their money at that time. So that, maybe some of them had to change their mind not to even vote for my party. Personally, I went to over 100 wards out of about 116. I couldn't enter some of the wards to campaign.
But what you say you presented was a motion, and Nigerians could say, well, so much motion, very little movement.
Because of the motion that I raised, one of the recommendations was that we are going to invite all the head of security agencies in Nigeria. Primarily at the back of my mind was my resolve to serve humanity, just to follow the footsteps of my late father and my late brothers.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV, and here is a recap of some of our top stories. Appeal Court affirms Ali's election as Benue Governor. And bandits kill policeman, kidnap district head's wife, 14 others in Zamfara. Now, to other stories. The role of journalists in shaping and improving society through quality journalism remains sacrosanct to the growth and development of Nigeria. A media panel in Kano has highlighted the ever-changing media landscape in Nigeria and the need for a formidable network of journalists to cover underreported human rights stories in the country. Trust TV's participated at the event and reports.
The deterioration of human rights in Nigeria is manifesting through reported cases of police brutality, rising gender-based violence, and tough economic situation created by mismanagement of resources, which deprive millions of Nigerians rights to food, education, and health care. Based on these concerns, Amnesty International brought together these newsmen in Kano to, among other things, strengthen partnerships for the advancement of human rights and justice in Nigeria.
As you all know, the civil space has been seriously hampered as a result of overzealous either politicians or some security agents who believe that you do not have the right to use the spaces or to peacefully assemble.
I hope that journalists will continue to use their influence to bring out this thing, because journalism is about encouraging freedom, encouraging justice. Therefore, I hope we will continue to work together. Amnesty International will continue to work in conjunction with journalists.
Although professionally required to ensure adequate promotion and protection of human rights, journalists are also victims of human rights abuse, a factor threatening human rights reporting in Nigeria.
Rights don't just fall from the sky. Nobody ever just come and give you rights. You struggle for those rights. And so, media, as the abstraction of our rights to freedom of expression, is the key with which we can demand other rights.
We feel that aspect will help in advancing the frontiers of freedom of expression, freedom of information, and other multifaceted freedom that a lot of people are not even aware of. Where you see impurity taking place, where you see abuse of power taking place, where you see abuse of office taking place, where you see rape taking place, where you see all societal vices taking place, is because the people are not informed.
But with this renewed commitment by Amnesty International, it is expected that journalists will rise up to the challenges of reporting issues on human rights while highlighting alleged cases of military brutality across the country. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
In their quest to make business more profitable and meaningful for existing and upcoming entrepreneurs, trade experts are calling on young business owners in Imo State and environs to take advantage of the Owerri Trade Fair 3.0. Trust TV's Ajibade Price now report.
According to the experts, the move, which was geared at providing some level of ease of doing business, is also meant to improve the economy of the state. Conveners of the fair highlighted the expected qualities of the choice of prospective SMEs owners that will be taking part in the fair, saying that the season will have a symbiotic effect on both the state, the vendors, and the consumers.
It's going to help to boost these businesses. It's going to help to bring more visibility to the businesses. It's also going to help to attract investors to Imo State. It's going to improve the economic situation of the state because trade fairs attract people from far and near. Okay, so I believe that it's going to boost the economy of Imo State as a whole.
A lot of small businesses in Owerri, and of course scattered all over the place in Nigeria. So the essence of this is to give some level of credence to these small and medium businesses. That is why we have gathered them, so that they can give an exhibition feel to the entire state. That is basically that. I can also agree with me that will also add to the socioeconomic atmosphere of the state.
They expressed gratitude to the state government who, through the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, gave approval for the fair, considering its significant effect on the state's economy.
A pass-through check, yes. A pass-through check, and they have a form to fill, which after passing through that check, after filling the form, then when we are sure that they meet our quality check, they can get a standard fair.
Okay, like I said earlier, this is our third edition. Last year we had over 100 vendors, and this year we're looking at getting up to 150 vendors at the fair. So it's a massive event, trade event holding in Owerri.
The fair is coming at a time the nation is grappling with hyperinflation, prompting most businesses to nosedive due to the struggling economy. It is, however, hope that participants at the Imo Fair will make the best out of the business opportunity. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
On the international scene, the number of people killed in a powerful quake off the southern Philippines has risen to 9. The National Disaster Agency said on Monday, warning the toll could increase further. People fled into the streets or hid under tables when the 6.7 magnitude quake struck the Mindanao region on Friday, causing buildings to shake and part of a ceiling inside a shopping mall to collapse. At least 15 people were injured and more than 800 houses damaged or destroyed. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council said in its latest update. The death toll steadily rose over the weekend as searchers found more bodies buried under rubble or soil. Search operations have largely ended, but the disaster agency said it was still receiving data from some of the dozens of villages affected by the earthquake. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust TV News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.